What is up? It's the Figure Hunter, and today we're going to do a review for the SkyHill hand grips. I actually have a guest speaker, Libby from CrossFit Iron Horse in Fort Worth, who is like the gym coordinator and one of the head coaches, or at least one of the coaches. She's been using them for months. I have been using them for months. I actually got them at the CrossFit Games in August, and this is the first time I've actually doing the review, and Libby and I have coordinated to get all the video content sort of together, and it's not a great amount of content. And what's ironic is that today is the announcement of CrossFit Open Workout 24.3, and 24.3, one of the athletes is Ariel Lowen, who is a brand ambassador for SkyHill grips. So this review will give you an idea of what the SkyHill grips offer and what differentiates them from the traditional grips, the Bear Complexes, the Victory grips of the world, and even my personal favorite, the Velites Quad Ultra, which I'm going to do more of a direct comparison in this review. So in this review, and I have to assume in 24.3, there's going to be some pull-ups, something on the rig, some toes to bar, something. So hey, why not have a review for a new type of hand grips on the same day. We are all starting 24.3. But what we're gonna do in the review today is we're gonna talk about the design. We're gonna talk about how they differ in design from traditional grips, mainly the Bear Komplex and the Velites Quad Ultra. And we're gonna have Libby share her experience, what she likes, what she uses them for, and what she appreciates about the Velites, because she is a CrossFit coach. She's using them all the time, and she'll give some great perspective, and then we'll talk about it in summary. So getting into the design is actually very unique to me. It's like Libby will say later, it's like a tarp. It's like a piece of rubber that is on your hand that just feels like durable. Now, I have been using these grips for 6 months now, since August. Today, this mid-March in 2024, and I have had no sort of breakdown of the material, no sort of wearing out of the material, but it's just like a flap of rubber, and it just flaps over, the rig when you go to pull up or do toes to bar or whatever you're going to do. In addition, they have a great design around the base. So the base has got this thick neoprene, and the fact that it's actually like a 2-inch strap, 1.5-inch strap versus like a narrow strap, which a lot of other grip manufacturers put, it means that it distributes the weight of your body or the pull of your arms across a larger area of your wrist. And that is really helpful, both the neoprene and the thickness of the strap, the width of the strap, because these actually hold, or feel like they hold, a huge amount of my weight. I feel like they hold a large portion of my body weight, and I can go for longer sets, whether I'm doing toes to bar or pull-ups or whatever, because it is minimizing grip fatigue, significantly minimizing grip fatigue. Now, this is something that I found on the Velites Quad Ultra, another no chalk, and these are both, and the SkyHill is a no chalk hand grip. So those are things I found on that as well, that it is holding a lot of my body weight. So the fact that the strap is thick, neoprene, all that really helps. And the fact that it's just like a sticky rubberized material that just sort of flaps over the bar when you throw it up there and does its job without having to have chalk, without having to have anything else. Additionally, I do like that it is soft. It's not a texture that's gonna break down over time like a leather grip might and start to scratch your hands on the inside, start to break down or get abrasive like leather will after it sort of gets a lot of sweat on it over a long period of time. And the other thing that I like is the button. Now, at first I thought the snap down button, I thought, is that stupid? Is that gonna get in the way? Is that gonna be a problem? Even I thought the button on the edge or the top of the SkyHill grip was gonna be problematic when you're actually throwing it up on the rig to do your pull-ups, toes to bar, chest to bar, whatever it is. And it doesn't actually cause a problem. It doesn't get in the way at all. And on the flip side, it's functionally useful. Actually, I do snap it down when I'm doing other things, other types of work, even to the point where if I'm doing handstand walking, it doesn't, it's like it takes the grip out of the way when you're doing handstand walks, which I didn't think it would accomplish with that button where it is. So that's the design, and I feel like they nailed it. We're gonna turn around here. Met another waterfowl, but this one is awesome. This one is awesome, like huge expanse. Large place for birds to habitate. So against the Velites Quad Ultra and against like a traditional leather bear complex. So again, we'll get the bear complex out of the way. It's much better. Whether you're looking at hand grips, I personally think Velites Quad Ultra, SkyHill grips, definitively better than all the Victory grips, all the Bear Complex grips, all the grips that are leather, 2 holes, no holes, whatever it is, because I have found over time that those straps, 2 things that are problematic in design. They typically don't have thick neoprene, or 3. Typically don't have thick neoprene, typically have narrow width on the straps themselves, so when you're holding part of your body weight, it's across a smaller diameter, and it feels like you're pulling more of your wrist, you know, is getting more torque on it. And then it doesn't hold very well, and it might need chalk. Additionally, the other problem design with leather grips that I have found with Bear Complex is after a long period of time here in the state of North Carolina, when there's humidity and you're sweating a lot, you actually get scratchy. Basically, the leather starts to harden on the inside, and so you can actually develop like a blister on the inside where the grip is just scratching your hand as you're using it because the leather has gotten abrasive because it got wet and then dried. So that's versus traditional grips. I don't think there's one out there that's like no chalk. I don't think there's one out there that stays no chalk, which is what SkyHill does effectively. There's just, you know, 6 months later, I still don't have a need for chalk. So that's SkyHill versus the Bear Complex, but what about the Velites Quad Ultra? Now the Velites is great. Okay, so I'll simplify it. I think it's great for larger hands, but it's not great for smaller hands because it is so thick. So there's just a thickness difference. The Velites has a very soft interior, and that soft interior has stayed soft over a long period of time. I used these for like 6 or 8 months as well before I started and transitioned to SkyHill. But on the Velites, because it's so, there's so many thickness layers to it and it lasts forever, if you don't have long fingers, it's just gonna feel like you have this thick thing. And a lot of people that I had tested in the gym that have smaller hands or shorter fingers feel like it's just too thick. It's like it makes the bar feel like a fat bar because it just adds so much thickness. Anyway, the neoprene is similar for the Velites, although it's better on SkyHill. The width of the strap is similar. Probably the same on both. And Velites, you know, it does help for you to use a sock, which I have not needed, like, you know, like a wrist sock, sleeve, whatever it's called. I haven't noticed that need at all for SkyHill. Like their neoprene design is thick enough, good enough, fine. And so you don't, again, simplified. So especially for smaller hands or for females, I think that SkyHill is the only place to look. So that's the comparison versus the Velites Quad Ultra. If I was gonna give you like a summary of the two, I like the SkyHill because it's just simple and clean over the Velites Quad Ultra now. Although the Velites Quad Ultra is a great hand grip in itself, especially if you have bigger hands because you don't notice thickness, and it is soft and it might hold just a hair better over a longer period of time now that I've used both for a longer period of time. So enough of that. Let's hear what Libby Sargent, one of the main coaches, or probably at one point she was the coordinator for a lot of the stuff at the gym at CrossFit Iron Horse. She's going to share about what she likes and do some videos for her youth, putting them to use. So let's dive into that.
Hi, this is Coach Libby from CrossFit Iron Horse, and I just wanted to give my review on the SkyHill grips. I have personally never used a grip like this before. The material is kind of rubbery, kind of reminds me of a really thick tarp. But because of that, it's pretty sticky on the rig, which is obviously what you want in a good grip. So a couple things that I like. Number one, the wrist strap is this really thick foam type of stuff, so it's very cushiony on your wrist. One thing that I've had with some grips in the past is it can be just really rough and it rubs into kind of the sides of my thumbs here and on the outside here. And so I'll wear wrist straps or something like that to help just kind of reduce that rubbing. This is nice because it is so thick. When I throw this over the rig and it's helping kind of pull me up, it doesn't cause that pain here on the sides of my hands because it's got this really squishy support in the wrist. So I like that. The other thing that's nice is it's got this little snap that's pretty quick and easy to just get the grip out of the way, so that if I have a workout with maybe a barbell and something on the rig with some gymnastics, I can get out of the way real quick, do my barbell work, flip it back out, and I'm ready to jump up on the rig without having to twist my entire grip back and forth. I've found that I like these grips, especially for toes to bar, because you can throw it over and just kind of get locked in. I feel like it really locks me in to have a really strong grip for big sets of toes to bar. They work great for all gymnastics movements. I feel like I don't love them as much for muscle ups, bar muscle ups. For whatever reason, I feel like when I come off to rotate around the bar, it can kind of slip a little bit. I was told you want to kind of chalk up your hand here, but you don't need to chalk up the outside here. And sometimes if I'm doing a lot of bar muscle ups, I feel like my grip starts to slip a little bit, or this might start to slide down because of all of that rotation. So that might just be a me thing, not everyone's problem, but I do really like these if I'm doing sets of toes to bar or pull-ups.
And so that was Libby. I appreciate, and we've had both these. She did this just last week. Again, we've been using the SkyHill for 6 months now, so this is a long-term use breakdown of what she likes, and she still likes it. I have had members in the gym that have tried it and purchased it. So here's a quick shot of a member in the gym.
These are absolutely the best purchase I've ever made. Shout out to Hunter. They keep me on that bar like nothing else, and then I can just worry about my form and my grip's all good.
Clearly Ari likes it, so her and her husband have it. They have other friends that now bought it from the gym. So a lot of people have really found this to be. So in summary, think about everything that we've just talked about. They're definitively better than leather grips. They're better than Velites Quad Ultra for most hand sizes, or maybe all hand sizes, because they work for big hands too, they work for small, whatever. And everybody that's used them really likes them. Ariel Lowen just did it, I don't know, she probably, if 24.3 has something on the rig, which it should, you probably saw them in use. But either way, all of those things combined, these are an awesome solution for hand grips. These are fantastic across the board, in my opinion, and they are a unique design that's a new type of design that I think is going to be a primary winner of the types of hand grips we'll see going forward. So with that, that is the summary review for the SkyHill hand grips. It's the Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks to Libby, thanks to Ari for commenting. Fit Gear Hunter, thanks very much for watching.